Right. Indeed, a very, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of The Tackle. It is the 7th of September 2022, tarehe 7 mwezi wa 9 mwaka 2022. Natumai kwamba umeamka salama. You're ready to tackle your day. It's very chilly in Nairobi. It's crazy. Wanasema weather ya Nairobi ni watu wawili. Mmoja wa kupika chai na wa kuendea mkate. I know some guys, we need to get your head out of the gutters, especially NERIMA. It's indeed a very, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's a SIASA Wednesday edition of the 7th of September 2022. It's a pleasure to have you. As usual, when you join in, please like. When you like, we get to know that you're watching us. After like, please share. When you share, you give someone else an opportunity to watch the broadcast. This is The Tackle and it begins right now. Kama kawaida, please when you like. When you like, we get to know that you're watching us. And after like, please share. When you share, you give someone else an opportunity to watch the program. Coming in on the heels of the Supreme Court ruling on Monday. There's been conversations that have been running in. Today is the second day. Thereafter, kuna watu wanalia, kuna wengine wanafurahi. Na Kenya ni moja, lazima isonge. But one thing I like is the fact that we are a peaceful country. For the very first time, we have an election period that has been, the morning after of the elections is very peaceful. So, pongezi sana kwa Kenya wote. Congratulations to all Kenyans for accepting to have peace and ensuring that we give democracy and also the constitution a chance. Haya, tuende mbele za Mungu tu, alafu tukirudi naona kuna ngona maamka mapema. Watu mbako Olduka City. Okay. Watu wa Mogotio. Kumbe uko kwenu kuna maana ito Olduka City. Hala? Okay. Haya. Mighty Father, we come before you this morning. We worship you. We glorify your name. Thank you for another chance to be alive. We thank you for this conversation as we start off with us. Then may it edify the fabric of this country. For every tackler who joins us this morning, may you meet them at their point of individual needs. For you pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Olduga nini wapi? Mheshimiwa Kibore. Olduga City. Mogotio.
Yes.
So Mogotio itself is not a city, but there's a city within Mogotio.
Yes, there's a city within the city.
Which city?
Mogotio City. It's a part of Nakuru Metropolitan. Yeah, you should be there.
Nimekuja nikula matumbo inaitwa aje? There's a place, Musereji.
Yes. But Mogotio has many things to offer. Unafikiria tu matumbo peke yake?
But what else is there? Mbuzi na matumbo.
Everything good about Mogotio.
Like what?
Everything.
What
good.
else?
Like tourism, like good people, hospitable people, like good environment. Good nyama, good mbuzi, good liver.
Lakini mtu akinipea matumbo na anipe mbuzi, sio ni hospitality. In short, I'm saying that people
know watu wazuri ukaongelea matumbo.
Sasa walinipea matumbo tamu. So I know what is hospitality. Ningesema hapo nilisha.
Welcome back again. Welcome back.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Good morning. How are you doing well?
Yes, I'm doing well.
Yes. Salimia wananchi. This is your first time on The Tackle. Your camera just right ahead of you.
Pole nimefika nimechelewa kidogo, nilipitia kwa fundi. Fundi alikuwa anataka kumeka adjustment kidogo ya
suti. Kwani umeshika kitambi wiki moja?
Kitambi ilikuwa hii kitambi ni ya kuwekelea tie ya Wednesday suit. Amjambo wa Kenya. Good to see you. Good morning. Happy to see you. Hope you are doing good. Hope kunanyesha uko nyumbani kwenu na popote mlipo. Sisi tuko site. Asante.
Serikali Matio. Asante elegant. Live from Nakuru, Kongasis. Asante sana watu wa Nakuru, karibuni. NERIMA.
Yes. Good morning.
Mambo.
Poa. Why are you laughing?
You're doing well.
I'm doing good.
I'm
doing better. Sasa place iko sawa.
Better than when?
Slowing down. Yeah. Tulikuwa busy na elections. So at least now tunaweza pumua. Yeah, it's been a bit hectic. Yeah.
Lakini sasa kupumua ndio shida, inamaanisha hakuna kazi.
Kuna kazi. It's just now we're focusing on accountability. Okay. Working with now the county governments in the counties we work in and educating people on how to follow up. And if your representative is not doing well, educating them on recall.
Okay. So kuna recall pia. I think that's one of the articles that have never been utilized in Kenya. I've never heard about any constituency that has recalled its MP. And do you think then the people really understand their power in the constitution? Do you think we've really been in touch with the power, civic power in the constitution?
No, we haven't, but also to recall is expensive. And that's why it takes a lot of organizing because it also needs a number of signatures and support by the time you petition for a recall. And a lot of times the public is unaware about that information. Ni kwa sababu katiba, watu wengi hawaelewi. So by the time civil society comes in and educates on the constitution, it is late. So that's why we try to do it mapema and also from younger. So we work with youth. And by the time they understand the roles of representatives, they're able to hold those representatives accountable.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Bernard Mwasi listening in from Finland. Thank you so much, guys, from diaspora. Finland, salimika zaidi. John W. Kore, good morning. Sabito, good morning to you. Keep Kimbaki, Murgor Coach. Path is life. Asante sana Modosi. Path is life. Congratulations, Path Australia. Proud of my nation. Thank you so much, my brother. Abrir Dennis from Ochuka Clay City, Mogotio constituency. Olduga Clay City. Tushanga mambo ya city. Mike Valencia, Murgor, good morning. Gerald, Awoteni live. I make up some money. Thank you. Thank you, very important. Thank you, very important. Karayas Kukuri from diaspora. Moses Kamau Bishop. Good morning, son of my Ben. Good morning to my brother Haimba Wandambusi. Good morning, Jeff tuned in from the great county of Trans Nzoia. Good to see you. Tuke Ole Kashumba. Hey, umamuka na speed. Tupeleke Saudi kwanza. Saudi iko mambo. Things iko maneno mambo ya Saudi. We'll get back to it very shortly. Kangwana Media, Charles Kangwana Kisia, asante sana kijana yangu. Good morning. Man Gidi, good morning. Bito, good morning to you. Collins Mosoi CK, good morning. The Tackle, good morning. Denson Moses Benjamin, good morning. General Bitok. Actually, we have found Tackle and forgot the mainstream person. The mainstream. Personally, I wake up at 4 a.m. to do my things. Wait till 7:30 to watch the Tackle and be educated before I continue with the day. Thanks for giving us solution and quenching our thirst. God bless you, sir. Thank you so much, Delson. May God bless you too. Frank Kapule Bitok, you are a serious guy. Dr. Kapule watching. Thank you so much, Daktari. Kangwana Media, Kisi, Kenya. Charles Kangwana, I'm tuned in. Edna Mosonic, good morning. Bitok, good morning to you, Edna. Bonibi at GBL. The Tackle, what are you saying on the allegations that Rais alicheza baba? Kiboreka atatuambia. Kiboreka ni mwanasiasa, mimi ni bishop. Wanela Somuse, awesome show on the way. Thank you so much, Vitalis Adeya. Good to see you, Vitalis. Hey, good morning. The weather is so chilly, but you are warming it up. Thank you so much, Vitalis. Asante sana to Vitalis. Vitalis. Asante sana. Thank you. Kangwana Media, Masora Nyamache Kisi, Kangwana tuned in ipo siku. Asante sana. Rona Arab Soy, good morning from Mabatini City, Super MP.
Mabatini City, Mogotio.
Mabatini City. Yani mko na masiti. Yani mnajitengenezea masiti tu vile mnapenda. Sadam kumetaja Aaron EMC Takla tuned in. Good beautiful Wednesday morning, 7th September. Asante sana. Siasa Wednesday, good to see you. Elfas Keba tuned in live, watu wadoa. Asante sana. Also watu wadoa mtuambie kuna kaje pale. Naona mwingine hapa Kabuye Katagua. Good morning, Gerald. Kindly on the issue of Saudi Arabia, please look for the chairman Asmak to shed more light and make people understand and know where the problem is. Diana's case was just one. Hiyo ni first aid. She was well connected. Please, nitumie nambari. Please send me a contact from Asmak. I can ask them on Thursday. Okay. Joanna Motache Miron, tuned in live from Minneapolis. Good to see you, diasporans. On Rabab Court, Bomet County, well represented. Mangoi Bernard, Boss Kiborek, Kazi and Dele. We love you so much. Asante sana. Lil Davids, good morning, Gerald. Good morning to you, Lily. Good to see you this morning. Amonga Lito continue all the way from the United Kingdom, from Convent to United Kingdom. Thank you, Ndugwanaina. Stabilize economy, economic diplomacy, distress, investment in agriculture, credit for small and medium enterprises, capital market reforms, cut government spending and wastage, fixing regulatory institutions, support local value addition and industries, job creation. I think those are the priorities that Ndungu thinks the government should focus on, the new government should focus on. So they also tell me what you think would be the priorities for the new government as it takes over. What are some of the issues that you think should be the issues that it really begins with? I'll get back to you. I'll get back to the comment section. So let me see what's happening up on YouTube. Thomas Ocheng watching from Ugunja Market, Siaya County. Good morning. Good morning to you. All right, let me know what you think are the priorities for the new government. Nini unataka aanze nayo? Kama ni kutupea kwanza kakitu kila mtu, tupigwa kwanza kila mtu down mbili. Asante. Serikali yanze. Ama tutengenezee lunch Kenya yote mzima. Tukule lunch siku moja. Kwa family holiday. All right, I still want to remind you as well that if you can see this, then it means that your next client can also see it. If you can see me, you can see me, you see me. I can see you. If you can see me, then it means your client also can see you. So you can advertise with us. Please call the number on the screen. As you can see, there's a flyer right there. You can contact us and we'll be able to give you a red card. If you can see this, then your client can see it as well. And you can ensure that you can reach more people. Our reaches for every 28 days ranges at around 3 million. And engagements at over 3-point-something million towards 4 million. So, I mean, you're in good hands when you advertise with us. Okay, so tupigie simu ama tuandikie WhatsApp message. Alafu mambo yako inakuwa shwari. Pia tuko na hoodie. You are the only person who doesn't have a hoodie, by the way. Ni wewe peke yako ndio una hoodie ya tackle. Wewe na Nerima. Only two of you. Wewe na Nerima ndio hamna hoodie ya tackle. Okay, so ensure that you can get your tackle hoodie at only 2,500 Kenyan shillings. By doing that, you wear the biggest brand in town and you also support us to become better. Aya, ndarudi naona comments mingi I'm seeing. I have over 60 of them that I need to read. I'll get back to you. Keep sending them. Let me know where you're watching us from this morning and how things are looking like where you are. Nairobi today is crazy. Traffic situation is not looking very good. Ngong Road looks very crazy. And also roads feeding into the estates, Kilimani, looks very bad. I'm thinking Ngara Road is really bad again this morning. Kitanga Road doesn't look good at all. Oledume Road looks terrible. Kings Kodek also looks bad this morning. Looking at James Kishuru, James Kishuru, and Naivasha Road is clear. But heading towards the junction mall looks a bit crazy. Looking at James Kishuru, not good at all. I thought Nerima was lying. Nerima anapenda Yesu. I'm saying James Kishuru is not good. It's really, really bad. It's really very, very bad. James Kishuru ni mbaya kabisa, heading in towards the Waiyaki Way. Not looking good at all. Waiyaki Way as well, heading towards Westlands. Not looking good. There seems to be some traffic around Westlands Mall, heading towards the stage, all the way to Wapi, all the way to the expressway, joining in expressway. Also looking in at Parklands. Parkland is not looking good as well this morning. Limuru Road looking a bit crazy as well. Looking at Thika Road, not good at all. Very bad again this morning. Thika Road is not looking good all the way from Rostas to Endelea Bake Muthaiga overchange. Kiambu Road is not looking bad at all from Muthaiga Golf Club. It's a bit, there seems to be a little bit of some action there, some traffic, but nothing to worry about. Mombasa Road not looking good this morning. Seems to be some patches of traffic as well. Jogoo Road not good at all, as well, looking crazy. But Outer Ring Road not bad, heading towards Donham, nothing to worry about on that side. But generally Mombasa today, Nairobi is a bit crazy when it comes to traffic. So let me know how the traffic situation is looking like wherever you are. Haya, turudi kazi. Kiborek, so hali ya nchi unaona iko namna gani? What's the state of the nation?
The state of the nation is good. The nation is peaceful. The nation has accepted the election results. The nation has moved on. The nation is optimist. The nation is hopeful. The nation is looking forward into the future. They are waiting for Hustler Fund. The nation are waiting for subsidized fertilizers. The nation are waiting how we'll tackle the menace of unemployment and empowerment. The nation are looking forward into the future with a lot of hope. I think since 2002, after election of 2002, this is the second time the nation is very hopeful. They are looking forward into the future with a lot of hope and a lot of excitement that indeed we have gotten the change we are looking for. So the nation is good. The state of the nation is good. We are waiting for transition. We are hoping it will be peaceful as it has been up to now. And we are looking forward into exit Saul enters King David. No, the Saul will be exiting on Tuesday, and then David will be entering the throne. So, and you know, David is a man after God's own heart. So the nation will be good. The nation is happy. It is raining. In fact, it's like this Saul has been, God has been punishing us not rain because of Saul rain and Saul's tenure. And now the Saul is exiting. It is raining. Everything is looking good.
Pongezi kwanza kabla hujarudi kwa mambo ya Saul bado patoka. Congratulations on your win. I think you're one of the guys I'm really proud of. I mean, I've seen you come very from far with this. You had also a stint in 2017 that didn't go very well. Yes. But then you've tried again this time round. Kidogo nilikuwa na ulikuwa umepiga duru, why imeibiwa, why, lakini sasa ikarudi kwa nyumbani. Pongezi sana. I think I mean, you're one of those young people that I think deserves a chance. And I can only hope and pray that you're going to stay true to the spirit of young people, making a difference. Ukileta pia upleli, we are here. Tutakufinya. Pongezi sana. Congratulations, Kiborek. And we need to see more people in this active space of politics, because you cannot continue lamenting the book of lamentation, the cries of Nehemiah, the tears of Nehemiah every time tunalia. I mean, we need to get into this space and play it around. So pongezi. But then again, what are some of those things that you think would be for you? What are those things that you think would be some of the first things that you want to put your hands on And do you really have that role of an MP cutout that this is what we need to fix and all that? What are some of the things that you think the people of Mogotio would be expecting to get from you? And you promising them that nikiingia saa hii si story tena nikiingia uko ndani first 100 days? What is it?
Thank you, Gerald. Election is a tough one, especially in Kenya, especially being a young person. It's a tough one. It's draining in terms of energy. It's draining in terms of, you don't have enough experience. You're going into the murky waters where you're not sure of what you're doing. There's a lot of sharks out there who want to bring you down at that particular moment. But you have to be strong. You have to be focused. You have to be determined because it's not easy. And that aside, being hard as it is, you also know that as a young person, you carry aspiration of many young people, many old people. They're looking for it's a whole new dispensation that they look up to. They have a lot of hope in you. Although some have some reservation, will you really make it? Will you really be able to fit into these big shoes? Will you really be one of those people who can deliver for us? So it's been a tough one. It's been a roller coaster. It's been a very serious one. I went to 3 elections in a span of 3 months. I went for the first one. It was repeated. I went for it again. I won again. And then the general election. Luckily, we made it by the grace of God. So it's been something, we've been with you in this process.
Yes, we've been
trying to get here. Now we are here. Now the hard question is, we are here. So what? Now we are here. We promise the people of Mogotio and the people of Kenya that as much as the shoe is big, we'll try to fit into it. Because they have a lot of expectation. It's a genuine expectation. The one is to inspire a whole lot of a generation that, look, guys, it is possible. You can venture into business. You can venture into politics, you can venture into farming, and you can make it so long as you're determined. But the first thing you must do is put God first. Actually, I'm here because of God. Mine is more of prayers. Mine is more of believing in God, that it is possible. So as I am here, there's things that we have to fix it. One, we have to address, thankfully, and thank God that we have a president who understands the language of young people and understands the language of sufferers and hustlers. We have to try and fix the issue of job creation, maybe through empowerment or through creating job opportunities, because that's the biggest and the hardest challenge that we must tackle. Secondly, is that we must fix the local issue. As much as we have national issues, we have local issues. We have local issues sometimes.
That really falls squarely on your back.
Yes. So that's why I'm telling you, my job is well cut out for me, and I know. As much as policy is national, it is local. Policy is all local. We have the issues of roads. We have the issues of infrastructure of institutions. We have the issues of sometimes maybe power lines and energy. We have issues of business community around back at home. We have serious issues. Institutions back at home. So we have a whole issue that we need to be addressed both in Parliament and outside Parliament. In Parliament, we have to push for legislation which are friendly to the people, legislation which are friendly to the young people, legislation which gives someone room to grow in this country, that enables a way of doing business and a way of growing as a young person and as any other person, any other Kenyan being possible. So we are there to go and try our best. We are there also to go and help the president delivering he promised, he had a very ambitious manifesto. As we have to go and enable that manifesto to work through legislation. We cannot have a fund if we don't go and make laws that are friendly to a fund. We have to go and give life to that ideology of his in Parliament. We have to go and give life to what he promised people so that we're able to deliver as a team. We are a team and he's our team leader, and some of us are playing in that team. So in that team, we promise Kenyans will work with the leadership that are there. We'll try to make a difference. We'll try to live up to our expectations they have in us, and we'll try to make a change. But there's something we must do. Differently we must do. We must open an inquiry against these IBC commissioners. Therefore, yesterday they said that elections were free and fair when they almost banned the country. The 4 commissioners who told us that they didn't agree with chairman. When the court ruled that the chairman was right and the election were free and fair, they said they support Supreme Court and they support the chair and the election were free and fair. And the Kenyans believe in what they were saying, they will abandon this country. So we have to open a commission of inquiry on them in Parliament. That what happened, what transpired, who was bribed or whatever happened, they must tell the country because we have to fix things right in this country. We have to. You cannot wake up today as Gerard, even if you are the one of the tackle and the CEO of the tackle. You cannot wake up today and sing for us reggae. You have to work as to what the Kenyans
I can wake up
of you.
and sing reggae.
No, we will tell you no. It's what
You'll not allow.
we will not allow you to do that. We cannot allow you to do this. So we must work as a country and as a people must work. So we are ready to go and work. We are ready to roll our sleeves. Actually, the job is well cut out, as I said earlier, and we are ready to live up to that expectation. So I promise Kenyans and the people of Mogotio that look here, I'm here to work. It's all work. Yes, it's all work. Both locally and nationally. But more important is we look at the national, politics is all local.
And also and international.
Yes,
Or
and international.
you're not planning to go international.
International, maybe in future. For now, it's more local and national.
Because you're going to be international. The plans are here for
But
you.
our problems are local. Our problems are not international. So we are working as per our problems, where the challenges and where they need to be fixed, and we have to fix.
Okay. Nerima, good morning.
Morning.
Asifiwe sana.
Yeah, amen. So I think that I agree with Mahesh on a number of things that he has mentioned. But I also think that President-elect Dr. Ruto has a very tough job. And I think he's a man that's up to the task. But considering that we are talking about a period where we were not working efficiently for 2 years due to COVID, and we're also talking about a period where when even the interruptions of BBI, but also the fact that the majority population is youthful without opportunities will be something that will give him sleepless nights. And I say this because we are witnessing instability in our neighboring countries. As much as he's going to focus on local issues, and a major issue that's going to be on his table will be cohesion, because there's still a large population in the country that is basically mourning their heart. And he will have to show his actions toward showing them that his arms are wide open to them as well, and he's their president as well, and them trusting in his leadership. But when we look at Ethiopia, with what's happening there, when we look at South Sudan and Sudan and Somalia, Kenya is seen to be the nation that is stable. The one where even after an election the next day, people went to work. Not 100%, but it was at 40%. And then by day 3, it was 100%. So other countries were looking at us. So for that, I say, yes, our democracy is healthy. But I also think that Kenyans are tired. We are fatigued. And we're fatigued from electioneering for the last 3 years. And that sense of apathy. How is he going to inject a sense of urgency in the people of Kenya? And how is he going to, basically request them? Because this is where we're going to have to see his skills of leading and people wanting to follow and not necessarily being pushed to follow. And that's something that is a very tough balance. It's going to be about the individuals that he's able to put in power, that he selects or elects in terms of the cabinet secretaries. If he does not make the right choices, you're going to have a very disgruntled public. And I said this 2-3 years ago on record. I said, whoever Uhuru Kenyatta supports is the person who will lose. And it happened. And I'm saying this now. If President-elect does not select individuals in power wisely, if it is about rewarding, if it is about political treats, then he will have a problem with the public of Kenya in the next 2 years. The high cost of living is pinching people so much, we do not have patience. Let me tell you, Uhuru ran our patience, and our patience is thin. He will not have that laxity. He will not have that flexibility. So for me, I'm glad to see that he started running, and I think he understands how important it is to be cohesive, and he started by growing a bigger camp and having more people on his side. But the next step of action is making sure that he has representatives who have the capability to lead their institutions and not necessarily political reward.
What's your review of the election period? I think we had a conversation here, of course, before the elections came in. And the elections have happened. We've gone to Supreme Court as well. The Supreme Court has made a ruling. And in the opening remarks, Martha Koome made a very interesting observation. And she said that IEBC has not managed to give public confidence and trust in running the electoral process, in running a credible, verifiable electoral process and transparent electoral process, or the opening remarks. But nevertheless, this is the first time that we're having a unanimous Supreme Court ruling. I mean, very interesting. I didn't see it coming, but it came. Looking in back from the electoral period before, during, after, and now, the Supreme Court ruling, what are your thoughts on that?
First of all, I agree. I was also very surprised that there was no dissenting voices within the judges' bench. And that's something that's a little bit unheard of. Even though the verdict goes in a particular way, there's always one or two judges who oppose the verdict. And what I do say is that IBC is an institution that will continue to struggle as long as it doesn't receive the resources that it requires. When we look at 2017 and the budget that they utilized, 2022 was much more expensive in comparison. But how much the executive gave them was not even close to half. So here you are trying to manage a national election, which we have one of the most expensive elections in the globe. And then you're doing it with even less resources. That makes it difficult. Number two, a lot of people forget that IBC, most of their employees are part-time. Youth are the ones who are employed majority of the time, and they employ up to 500,000 youth, but it's part-time employment. This is within a short-term contract where they become the IBC officials on the ground. And then when you talk about the commission itself and the members, those are even fewer when we share on the secretariat. So for an institution to be able to build trust, it has to be open. And for you to be open, you have to communicate. This is one of the elections where I do feel IBC tried to be a little bit more open and transparent, even though sometimes they looked confused, especially when we saw the press media briefing that they had with the CEO and the chair. They had conflicting answers on particular questions, but the public was able to see. The fact that we are even able to see the break of the commission even before the famous or infamous Serena press briefing. So that information was not necessarily available to the public beforehand. We're used to seeing IBC crumbling on the day of election or right before results. But this one, we were able to see that there are a bit of discrepancies. And even when they shared they were going to Athens to do the processing, when they shared who they have been able to hire to do a lot of the ballot papers, this is information that was shared with the public and the public was able to question. But where IBC did not do extremely well was their sharing of information on social media. And the majority youth, like I said, the population is youth. If they are not receiving information on platforms that they are on or in formats that they would be able to engage, then they are not talking to anybody. A lot of young people still didn't even know that IBC had closed the registration process. They don't watch the news, and a lot of this information was being shared on media, and they kept sharing it on newspapers. So that door-to-door, we didn't see from IBC this time around. We didn't see it in the billboards or flyers or songs. We're used to seeing a lot more of IBC around. And even when we look at the way the commissioners, they came into their positions, they came late in the year. These are guys who were hired in January. So how are we expecting them to be able to have a cohesive commission if they come a few months before their job? And obviously that brought about a rift within the commissioners who had been there 3 years prior. So the issue of trust is something that I'm actually writing a research paper on. I think Kenya is one of those countries where we are digitizing everything, from access to services to access to money, M-Pesa banking, but elections is one thing we will remain in manual. We just do not trust electronic processes when it comes to elections, but we can trust electronic processes when it comes to managing or holding our hard-earned money. And that is something that, as a Kenyan people, we have to sit down and recognize that we do have an issue with the management of our democracy and our elections, and the fact that commissioners within the IBC can be held captive due to politicians. And how can we reduce that sense of captivity? If we cannot answer those questions, then the whole idea of elections and voting is a facade.
Okay. But then again, I don't know, but Kiborek, do you think, because I think also our politicians are refusing to evolve. For instance, the conversation that we had at the Supreme Court about IBC saying, guys, gentlemen, we gave you these things. They were somewhere on a portal, somewhere, lying somewhere. But then again, you're coming to question us about the number. Do you think, even as you talk about digitizing our elections, do you think our political class is ready to evolve with technology? Because the biggest fight as well was between the manual and the digital register, even before you got into the elections. Is our political class really ready to evolve and embrace technology, management of elections to do technology?
It's more or less not digital, because the actual voting itself in a polling station is manual. You go and look for a name, Gerald Bidok, you tick. Counting is all manual. The problem we have not gone digital is because of security of the digital space across the world, not only in Kenya. Also digital world is therefore evolving. We'll get there maybe sometime. But for now, we have to to let the digital world grow. We have to give time to that digital space to be more secure. It's about security. You see, when they had issue with some polling station, we'll go and do manual recount of those polling stations in our ballot boxes. Say we have problem in this and this station. We suspect the elections there were not counted well. We can count it manually. The only issue is that we had an hybrid of transmission of results, an hybrid between digital and manual, in the sense that we brought some 34s from 34B and BS to Bomas. And then there was also the bottle, which was digital. So on a hybrid, so that they can counter-check each other. If the digital one is marrying with the with the manual one. And in all sense, it was collaborating the two. So for going to digital, I also do not forget for going for digital as at now, because there's a lot of level of illiteracy within the African space, and we are not yet there, because of when this digital generation grows. This Kenyan digital, when Gerald Bidok will be an elder, an old man somewhere, we can now start a digital voting, because everyone will be digital conversant with the digital world. But if you take someone who has never seen laptop or computer or even a phone and ask that person to vote digitally, it's like you will have to suspect if you are really giving him, if you really get his photo or he is being duped. So that tweet is because of where we are as Africans. As Africans, we are not yet there. Give ourselves maybe 10, 20 years, we'll be digital. But for now, let us keep introducing the digital as we sustain the manual, so that we build the two as it goes to a level that the digital can sustain itself without the manual. We shift to digital. Another problem in making a paradigm shift sometimes can be difficult, because you are taking people from what they are used to something new they're not used to. So they might not even have confidence in where you are taking them. So let us go pole, aste, we'll get there. There's no reason. And I think this election, to me...
What's your review of the election?
I was in Bomas for 5 days during the tallying. This election was won and lost in polling station. It was about having strong agents and having strong mobilizers to mobilize people to come out and vote. If you are not people who are active people mobilizers who will send your people, yes, you have your voters, but maybe they didn't vote because they were not mobilized. In that polling station, did you have agents? Were you prepared for that election, that polling station? The issue of tallying, to me, even the Supreme Court upheld that there are no serious discrepancies. What was announced and what was tallying in Bomas. In Bomas, we were seriously checking numbers. And our friends in Azimio were relaxing. They were there. They were, I don't want to say what they were doing. They were not serious with their job. You see, at a stage of presidential election, Gerald, you cannot use someone like Saitabao as your chief agent. Saitabao can be my agent as Kiborek. For parliamentary or women rep. At most, maybe senator.
What is it about Saitabao?
Saitabao is not a bad man. He's a good man. But the pressure that comes with that particular position needs someone who has experience to handle that pressure. And experience is built with age. Experience is built with working in certain place where you handle pressure. Saitabao appear like someone who has never seen pressure in his life. He was yelling, screaming. He was not even sure what he's saying. In that particular position, William Ruto gave Kithure Kindiki, a reputable lawyer, a senator, two-term senator, a senior lecturer to be his chief agent. Someone who even could command us, those who are watching brief for William Ruto and those who are his clerk and agents in Bomas, who are commanded by Kithure Kindiki. When you want to rise, tell you, sit down, and we sit because we respect him. He's our leader, he's our senior. He was how can Saitabao command Amos Wako to sit down? You see him? Or Gladys Wanga, can he tell Gladys Wanga to sit down? So Raila lost from even picking his chief agent. Saitabao is a moran. Huyo ni mtu ya kuchunga ng'ombe tu kwa na kukua. That one is anakuwa chief agent ya MP candidate and maybe senator, not level of presidency, not level of president chief agent. Raila was not serious about this election. To be honest, Raila lost this election by himself because one, he is a man who came from theoretical conspiracy world, that there's something called deep state. It controls this nation. This election you have been losing. The problem when you lose election, Gerard, I have lost election in 2017. I knew I lost, and I knew I was defeated because I was not prepared for that election enough. But could supporters sometimes, who are your friends, and we are going to win. We are going for a kill. If you get, let's say, assume you get 2 votes in a polling station of your friend, for example, how will he explain to you have gotten 2 polls? He'll tell you, hii kura ilinunuliwa usiku. Ama kuambia, imeibiwa. Tuliibiwa kabisa, hakuna kitu tungefanya mheshimiwa tuliibiwa. So Raila, by losing election, those people Raila has given them duty, wachunge kura yake, na wakue wati yake, came with boogeyman stories. Look, tumeibiwa na deep state, tumeibiwa na system. To a point, Raila believe in those things. Of giants, Muitu, and Ogre, and those sort of story. We call it Chemwasi Bagatom. That's Chemwasi kind of stories. There's a big animal called deep state and system which controls shots. Now I'm sure from now they will say, no, there's no deep state. There's something called CIA. They will move to explain to Raila, this election we lost because maybe CIA or America or whatever came. That is story, fiction stories and conspiracies. Because you cannot face the person in there and tell him we lost this election because we are not prepared. We lost this election because we let you down. You cannot. All that election was lost by Raila himself.
The thing is, all right.
And I feel for Raila.
So are you saying that the deep state doesn't exist in your own opinion?
Deep state is as big as your imagination. There's nothing called deep state because they are family members. These are people who live in houses. We live in the same town. We go to the same churches, the same hotels. How then can they be mysterious to be deep state when there are people we meet and the person who duped Raila Odinga, Gerard, is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta.
Yes, and that's the question.
Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is the biggest con of 21st century. Uhuru Kenyatta himself doesn't know how he became president. He was assisted by young men, Kenyans who are yearning for change. They assisted him. They gave him all their human resource. The only thing Uhuru might have offered maybe the financial support to a system which was seamlessly working because they wanted change. It's a system which wanted to deliver him presidency. If you ask Uhuru Kenyatta, how does the SAFA look like? He doesn't know how a SAFA look like. He doesn't know how all this process look like. But because he was assisted by a goodwill system, which had goodwill, he thought he's invincible. He thought he made himself president. But those people who made him president made Raila Odinga not president. The same people. Because Uhuru Kenyatta thought it is him himself. So he gave Raila a false hope. He made Raila believe that I have Uhuru Kenyatta and system, I'll be president. And Raila not believe in Uhuru Kenyatta, he'll be president today. And it was wrong time for Raila Odinga to be in government when you want to inherit the sins of that government. And Raila will have seen, this was a man who didn't save himself in 2017. His election was nullified. Uhuru Kenyatta election was nullified by Supreme Court in 2017. He said, I will revisit. Up to date, he has never revisited. This is a man who came with BBI. It fell down like something else. He couldn't help himself with his BBI. This is a man who came and said, I must deliver. Big Four. The last time you remember talking about Big Four is 3-4 years ago. This is a man who has a big image of himself. He sees himself an invincible human being. He sees himself as something. I feel for Raila actually. Raila is a good man who has been duped. Raila is a good man who has been conned. Raila is a good man who believes in the wrong people. Raila is and Uhuru Kenyatta said, I will retire Shomwa, I'll retire Ndindi Nyoro, I will retire Moses Kuda. But instead, he has been retired with Raila Odinga, Jeremiah Kioni, Kanini Gega. He has been retired with all this long. And Keleweke guy who used to tell us, Iteleweka on him, and Iteleweka on his Uhuru Kenyatta. Because you see, Kenya is not anyone's property. The moment you get entitlement, these people are my property. These people, I control them. These people, I can do what I want to do with them. That's the moment you lose. The moment I start feeling that I'm bigger than Mogotio, I will lose tomorrow. But if I know Mogotio is bigger than me, I'll endear to work for them. If you, Gerard, you know the tackle is bigger than you, you will work for the tackle. But the moment you will believe you are bigger than the tackle, you will lose the plot. So Uhuru Kenyatta duped Raila, and I have seen Raila with Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday. He's still fooling him. I want to call us Simio MPs, and he's
having a PG today.
He's having a PG. PG for what? And you have duped Raila, and Raila still believe in those lies. In fact, majority of my Simio brothers and sisters, friends, I have a lot of friends in Simio, they still believe William Ruto will not be president on Tuesday because Uhuru Kenyatta will do something. You'll do some magic. And from that magic, Raila will be president. Wake up, guys, smell the coffee. William Ruto is the president. Uhuru Kenyatta duped you. Uhuru Kenyatta led you on. Uhuru Kenyatta even didn't know how he became president himself. Uhuru Kenyatta didn't know how he will make you president, but you believe in an existing theory and conspiracies that there's deep state that will make you the president. Move on. Raila Odinga is a statesman, yes, we respect him so much. In fact, Raila deserves more respect than Uhuru Kenyatta in this election. Because Raila was honest, he went into this engagement with Uhuru Kenyatta with open hands that I've gotten a brother, I've gotten a shoulder to lean on, but that brother was a con. Now Raila is where he is. He should not blame William Ruto. William Ruto was working hard for himself. Okay. William Ruto believed in those small people who delivered Uhuru's victory in 2013 and 2017. Though if you saw the composition of William Ruto Supreme Court lawyers, they were a battery of young lawyers. Young guys, who were doing research and working on this victory. If you go to Bomas of Kenya, when we were in Bomas, it was a battery of young people who worked for it tirelessly, voluntarily. They were not paid accordingly because they believe in the cause. There is nothing like having someone who believes in you and who want to work for that cause without looking into the monetary side of it. So there's no way they will have won this.
Okay. Now, on the same note, when you speak about Uhuru Kenyatta as the biggest conman, as you said, of the 21st century, I'm not sure about that, just using your words. There has been also a conspiracy theory by Mutai Ngunye that, guys, is it possible that these two friends who used to be in red ties were playing a game?
Even if that was what Mutai is calling, they're still conman. That's still conman.
Then does that then also make William Ruto a conman by association?
No, if that is true, I don't believe in Mutai Ngunye because Mutai Ngunye would want to look like he knows something even when he doesn't know. If that is true, then you can call William Ruto a schemer. A shrewd schemer for that man. A very shrewd one. If you can scheme into your opponent playing into your game, then you are the biggest schemer.
So it is conmanship when it is Uhuru, when it is William, it's scheming.
You look at, in any case, you look at the intent. Okay. What was the intent of William Ruto winning the presidency? If the intent of Uhuru Kenyatta was duping Raila, then that goes to conmanship. You look at the intent. What was the intention? William Ruto wanted to be president, whatever means he wanted to be president. If he used that, good for him. But if Uhuru Kenyatta agreed to play into a game of duping Raila, then he's a con man. You could tell Raila, look, my brother, I had agreed to support my brother for 10 years and mine 10 years. Hustle your way. If the heavens will open for you, I wish you well. If it doesn't, thank you so much. You see, but unlike telling someone I'm supporting you, but deep down you are not supporting. But Uhuru Kenyatta was supporting Raila Odinga, but he didn't know how to support him. You see, sometimes you can support someone without knowing how to support that person. Because, as I told you, Uhuru Kenyatta was delivered into presidency by almost 4 things. 1, prayers. You remember we prayed Kiptororo, Ruiru, all over the country. We prayed for him with William Ruto when they had ICC case. We prayed for them and they were delivered into victory through prayers. Number 2, they were delivered into presidency because of fear. These two were facing, they were facing serious ICC things. So it became, tyranny of numbers came out of, and the turnout came serious because all Kenyans wanted to save a situation and wanted to save these 2 people. Number 3, because he let people work for him. And he gave people environment to work for him. From William Ruto, from all these MPs, from all these MCAs. MCAs is more important in a presidential election than even senator. Those are the actual people who mobilize people to go and vote. From those Kinaitumbis of this world, they worked for Uhuru Kenyatta to that victory. When Uhuru got the seat, he started throwing everyone under the bus. Through Duale, through Tumbi, through Murkomen, William Ruto, Ishomwa, chased Moses Kuria, chased everyone who was around Cecily Mbarire, even women, good women like Cecily Mbarire and Susan Keheka, chased them threw them out of the bus, because he believed he's bigger than them. And he believed Susan needed him more than he needed Susan. He believed Cecily Mbarire needed Uhuru Kenyatta more than Uhuru needed Cecily. It is the thing, we need each other. As much as I might need you 90%, you still need me 10%. You get it? No. So Uhuru Kenyatta thought he's bigger than all this Jubilee, bigger than the country, and when he agikoa tunaitika. Unfortunately for him, alikoa this time akaitika peke yake.
The way you guys, you're speaking like this, before I get back to NERIMA, if Uhuru Kenyatta had supported William Ruto, would you guys be still saying the same things that you're saying about Uhuru Kenyatta?
Uhuru Kenyatta supported William Ruto. We could have seen him as an honorable man who lived up to what he promised. Okay. But William Ruto will still have done his assignment. He will not have sat down comfortably and believe in system and deep state. He will have gone. And he went, even when he was still with Uhuru Kenyatta in 2018, he went around the country doing what he was doing. He was called Tanga. Because he knew, yes, I have the president. Yes, he has promised to give me the presidency. Yeah, he promised in quotes and quotes that he will make me the president. But William knew the people will make him the president are the ordinary raya. Ordinary mamamboga, ordinary border people. He was reaching out to the real bosses. But Uhuru Kenyatta believe you don't need border guys or you don't need mamamboga guys when you have me. I can say you are president, you become president. That's what Uhuru Kenyatta believe. And that's why probably he was saying William Ruto is going so fast, he could have waited for me to. And there's a time he said William Ruto will be president, but in future, I could be F. Because he thought, kupitia kufika kwa Mungu ni kupitia kwa mwana. He thought for you to be president, you must bow to Uhuru Kenyatta for you to be president. Never. And this is the Kenya we want actually. We should not bow to anyone to be what you want to be. Mm-hmm. You don't bow to Kiborek to be whatever you want to be, or you don't bow to Gerald Bitok to be whatever you want to be, or you don't bow to even William Ruto to be what you be. This is a country where you should only bow to God and be determined that you can get to where you are going.
Okay. All right, NERIMA, nasikia mambo ya mheshimiwa.
No, nimesikia. And I wanted to say that I think it was a political strategy. Okay. And I say this because looking at the history of our politics, endorsements do not work. And one of the most classic examples would be when Moi tried to endorse Uhuru Kenyatta. Okay. And there are some people, especially those who were within those spaces at the time, who say that was part of the plan. Them understanding that his endorsement for Uhuru would work against him because in actuality, they actually wanted Mwai Kibaki to be president, which is what happened. Everyone was repulsed and moved away from Uhuru Kenyatta, and joined the bandwagon of supporting Mwai Kibaki, including Raila Odinga himself. So fast forward to decades later, we find an aged Uhuru Kenyatta doing the exact same thing that Moi did to him. But this time around, he did it extremely aggressively. I would share, especially with the Secretariat, the more Uhuru speaks, the worse it gets. Another example, when they were doing the selection for the deputy presidential candidate, and we saw the whole interview process on television, I remember MDG, David Ocheng, Member of Parliament, going on press and saying, this is embarrassing. Why are we doing this as Azimio? We don't need to be doing these interviews in the open. It makes us look ridiculous. People are criticizing us even more. We need to behave better. And that moment, remember that, Martha Karua was bidding. We also saw Munya was interested. We also saw Peter Kenneth was interested. But we did that process. Let me tell you, Uhuru Kenyatta did not want Martha Karua on that ticket. It was known. And it was something that was negotiated for days. And I know this because I know people who are within the Secretariat. But why is it that after she is announced on the ticket, why do we have President Uhuru Kenyatta openly saying at a function as a public address that it is he who made sure that she's on the ticket? It is he who picked her because she is the one who is going to make sure that she fights corruption in this country. That is why I feel it's strategic, because everything he would touch, he didn't have King Midas touch, where everything he touches turned to gold. Everything he would touch would rot. And he knew that. And he was using that power. And it was a strategic mind game. If both of them were in it, I'm not sure if President-elect was. But if both of them were in it, let me tell you, they deserve Oscars. These individuals need to be recognized by Grammy because they did it. It was the best play we have ever seen, from tears to fooling 50 million plus, to the point where right now we are uncertain what actually happened. And that, my friends, is talent. But I do think it was a political strategy. There were many opportunities that the president had, and he was informed to back down. And he even saw the public repulsing, and he didn't. He didn't. He even went more aggressively at it. And that makes me think this was all part of the plan.
But now, the thing is...
if it was part of the plan, as you say, then you are giving us the biggest insult to the character and the persons of Raila Odinga and the repute of Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga is one respectable, one brilliant politician of our time. And if you can tell me if it was a play, and up to now they are going to see Uhuru Kenyatta for a Simeo PG today. Up to now, Raila Odinga has not seen it. Then you are saying Raila Odinga is not what we think of. Because if you cannot realize a game being played on you for far too long, then you are not what we imagine you are. But to tell you the truth, I'm telling you this because when William Ruto was announced the president by Supreme Court, we all cried. From William Ruto to many of us, we all cried. And we cried because we asked ourselves, Lord, you have made it possible. Lord, is it, if it not were you, Lord, we wouldn't be here. Uhuru Kenyatta did what he did, even owning Karua and what you are doing, because of arrogance. And the arrogance was, my people will listen to me. I'll just go to, and the last time to election, he went to Inoro TV and those vernacular elections. He thought I'll just need one talk to my people and they will listen to me. William Ruto, an alien, is an outsider. My people can listen to me when I speak to them in their language and tell them in a language they understand. And he tried. The first time he tried to explain, he went to Sagana. Let me finish. He went to Sagana.
They were not listening.
Listen, he went to, because he thought they would listen at
But
some
he
point.
knew
Let me
they were
finish.
not. That's why he kept going back.
Let me finish. He went to Sagana, tried to explain and say all the nasty things against William Ruto. That this man has done this to me, blah. Even they brought some theories of, I don't know, ndege ilipita wapi. You remember, Gerald? Ndege ilipita Libya, ilikuwa nataka kutolewa juu. Tried to scare people that William Ruto, the difference is irreconcilable. He wanted to kill the president. A whole lot of theories and conspiracies were brought. To him, he believed at some point, my people will yield and they will listen to me. And even if we bring Karua, this is a Kikuyu, I'll tell Kikuyu, this one of you. And in fact, he said, he will protect your interests as Kikuyu. Uhuru Kenyatta was more determined about flipping the Kikuyu vote. He didn't care about the Kalenjin part of Jubilee or the Luhya part of Jubilee. He thought the Kikuyu part of Jubilee, he will flip it within a second. And he tried to the last minute. The reason why we are here and why Raila Odinga is here and Uhuru Kenyatta here is because of one big animal. Two things. One called entitlement. When you believe you are entitled to these people will listen to me, these people will respect me, this reason must take from me. Number two is a big animal called pride. When you have pride, he's a prince. Let's understand him from where he's coming from. He's a prince. He's a prince. He's a son of president. He's a president who is a son of a president born into royalty, and he's a royalty by itself. All royalty take us as a subject. There is no citizens in the world of royalty, if you have read about it. There's no citizen. There's nothing called citizenry. It's about subject. It's a master and the subject. To him, where he was sitting as a prince, my subject will take order from me when I say. And until the last minute, he believed that last minute interview with the local vernacular, and he was so focused about the Mount Kenya part of his part of this nation that I will go to, tell them my heart why they should leave William Ruto. But at every juncture, when they tried to throw everything against William Ruto, somehow God and people around William flipped it into another big campaign tool. This is the first president who addressed the nation in Kikuyu. It's good to speak in Kikuyu, right? It's good to speak in Kalenjin. But I will not entertain William Ruto today as a president addressing this nation in Kalenjin. He's no longer a Kalenjin. He's the president of the Republic of Kenya. If we want a Kalenjin leader, we can go and look for our own leader, which is not William Ruto. William Ruto is a national president, is a symbol of national unity. And the moment William Ruto will go to TV and speak to this nation in Kalenjin, I am among those who will tell him, Your Excellency, you are getting it wrong. You are naked. This is not home. This is Kenya. You are the president and the symbol of national unity. So if you see a president who went desperate at the moment of speaking in vernacular to the whole nation, try to confiscate the heroes of this election, we must say, the heroes of this election and those who made it not possible for Uhuru to achieve what he wanted to achieve, number one hero of this election, as we had said, is God. Number two, Wafula Chebukati. Number three, Kikuyu's community and Mount Kenya's community. Uhuru did everything, including pouring money. But they say, Tau, we are eating, but we will vote where we know. To the last minute during mobilization of voting, chiefs and DOs and everyone took money there. They had money, but they didn't vote. They rebelled. And this is a successful story of a serious revolution by citizens. This is a serious story of a successful revolution by citizenry to achieve their own means. And I want to give credit to the Mount Kenya voters. They are the heroes of this election. And they agreed to be duped. We will not be here. But we salute those people.
Okay. Nerima.
Yeah. So now speaking out of facts, removing my emotions, removing religion, 48 laws of power strategy was for him to distance himself from a failing administration, which he did. And so when he distances himself, it's very easy for man to view the president-elect separate from Uhuru. But they came on the same ticket. Uhuru Kenyatta's failure is William Samoei Ruto's failure. But we have forgotten that logically, because all of a sudden, the feeling and the conversation is on emotions, is on betrayal, is on religion. We're losing logic. And for me, I think it was a brilliant strategy, which is what I've said.
You're overestimating Uhuru. He's not as smart as you think.
I'm not saying he's the one who is smart. I'm telling you, this was
the man.
a
You are giving
strategy.
the man too much credit. That man, Kenyans are thinking that man might be having some other praise. He's what you
It
see.
is not Uhuru
Uhuru
with the
Kenyatta is
genius.
what you see. William is the genius of this election, and he managed to pull himself
That's
out
why
of
I
Uhuru.
said they are working on it together.
No,
But
because
it's
you
like-
think Uhuru is more smart. Uhuru is not smart. Uhuru, as you see, is that animal you see on TV.
I think it was probably
You get what
William
you see.
Samuel's
You get
idea.
what
It
you
was
see.
probably his idea.
Because you think Uhuru is probably very smart and is a genius. No, he is.
Ruto
Uhuru
is a
is.
genius, and that's why I think they are working together. Thank you very much. The end of my presentation.
Let me ask you, Nerima. I mean, I find your submission very interesting. The way you're putting it, and you're saying you saw it a long time ago.
Yes.
That this thing, the only thing that you didn't do is that you didn't tell us the last time you were here that you had seen it.
Let me forward you a video
That you had seen it.
where I said
But anyway,
it
Evan,
on
as you're sending me the video,
4 years ago.
as you're forwarding the video,
I have forwarded
as
it
you're
to
forwarding
you.
the video, I don't know if you as a layperson can actually see that Baba is being played. Baba with all platoons, including guys who are wearing military uniform, Nathan, all this group of people could not see that there's a game here, and somehow even up to this point, there seems to. I saw Babu this morning was tweeting and saying that you'd rather lose honorably than win via fraud.
I saw that.
I think they're yet to make peace with the facts of this thing. And if you could see that as a layperson, that you can see this thing doesn't make sense. How is it possible that Raila Odinga, a politician of repute for decades, flanked by several guys around him, including Paranya and Nani, people who have worked in the administrative system, flanked by people like Matiang'i who in the system. I mean, people who are even inside this system could not figure this out. What do you think? How do you think they lost this?
I think they
How
lost
did they
it.
miss it?
I think they lost it because something that President-elect is good at is what was already mentioned before. He's very good at identifying brilliant young people who have the mind and the energy. And he also has the energy. I mean, this is one man, even me, I've seen the way he works, and I cannot take it for granted, where he plans every single thing and he is very hands-on. We saw the way he managed Jubilee when they were having their party primaries, then when he was a very active member, before they started to try and kick him out of it. So when you have someone who is that in tune and that alert, competing with somebody who, quite frankly, is instructed on what needs to be done, there are too many people who were in the kitchen who were not supposed to be allowed in. And that's what happened with the Azimio team. Where, for me, where the red flag was, the fact that people didn't have their own separate tallying center. I mean, come on. And 2017, guys had agents 6 months prior. They already knew they were going to be at every polling station. This time around, guys relaxed. And the fact that some places didn't have agents at all. So it was just carelessness, and I agree. It was arrogance. But at the same time, when you have an aging man, Raila Amolo Odinga is not the man that he was 30 years ago. This is an aging man, and you lose memory, you lose zeal, and you even forget how to have commanders on the ground. You forget how to select commanders. So we're having somebody who is competing with someone who's just at the peak of his career. So the game has changed, but unfortunately, the player still believes that he's capable. He's not. He's not. He's old.
I lost it.
Yeah.
Okay. Since Kiborek has given Uhuru a beating.
Because he was entitled. Uhuru Kenyatta was entitled. Raila believed in an entitled man. And William Ruto knew his assignment. He knew his homework. He knew what he has to do. He came with a handshake. Tried to force everyone, humiliate everyone to join the handshake. And he believed this handshake of him will deliver the presidency. He believed he had 7 million or 8 million votes in 2017, Raila Odinga. He believed if I get 20% of Mount Kenya, then I'm done. But he didn't realize early enough, this election was not won in Mount Kenya. It was not lost to Raila, but in Mount Kenya. It was lost in Western. It was lost in Mombasa. It was lost in Kampani, where it was Raila. As much as Raila was trying to make inroads into Mount Kenya, with Uhuru Kenyatta telling him, I'll give you 30 to 40%, who listen to me. William Ruto went to Western. He flipped Bungoma, went to Western, increased his number in Kakamega, went to numbers, increased his number in Figa, increased his number in Busia, increased his number in Mombasa to almost 40-something%, increased his numbers in Kilifi and Kwale. You know, and as Raila was so much focused in entering Mount Kenya and getting some votes using Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto was making serious inroads. He was signing Wetangula. They assumed Wetangula was a non-issue. Wetangula said it will be messy, noisy with casualties. They took him for a ride. So as they say Mudavadi was a whole, there was nothing with Mudavadi. He delivered almost 600,000 votes to Kenya Kwanza with his team, with Wetangula and the entire Western team. So this election was won because William was very meticulous. He did his personal, even opinion poll weekly. He knew how are the numbers looking like in this person for the last 2 years. He knew numbers, exact numbers in every area. How are they moving? How are they responding? His trips were scientific trips. He didn't go around the country just aimlessly. They were scientific trips. He knew I'm going here to look for this %. And when he got those %, he knew the next thing I've gotten about this, I've gotten maybe 20% or 15% in Cumberland. The only thing I need to do is to protect this 15% to reach tallying center safely. I've gotten maybe 3% in Nyanza. My work is to protect this 3% to Bomas. I've gotten maybe that 40% in Western. I have to protect this 40% to Bomas. So he knew his announcement and he did a scientific campaign. He did a campaign which was seamless and it had less bureaucrats, because it was being controlled well by him and very few people. On the other hand, you didn't know who was in charge of a Azimio campaign. On this side, Kibicho. On this side, Kena Sabina Chege. On this side, Junaid Mohammed. On this side, Raila Odinga. Everyone was pulling on his string. Everyone was pulling on his direction. Came Mother Karua of Azimio Aro. Mother Karua came, they said, this is now the high on lady, the game changer. Oh, Jesus. And Gachagua, they call our Gachagua, Mutu Amekaje. They name all things against Gachagua. Gachagua said, Tarek Tisa, we are going to State House. It was real. You know, Gachagua is that guy, you know, in a group of 10 people, there's that guy who is so genuine and so real with his feelings. Gachagua is himself. He doesn't, and that's our ordinary voter likes. Someone who doesn't pretend, you know, he's someone with, if he was a lady, he would say he doesn't have makeup. Gachagua is Gachagua. And he comes to you as Gachagua. And there's many people who admire that person who come to you the way it is. He tell you, Tarek Tisa, to State House. He speaks to you the language you understand. William Ruto became scientific and practical with this election. Odinga became ideological and he believed in conspiracies in this election. So conspiracies and theories against practicability and science couldn't match. And there's no way it will match. So William Ruto is way. Tomorrow we'll be voting. Call Wetangula, Mr. Speaker, sir. As much as they are going for PG, Wetangula is our speaker. Because we now do our own work and our assignment. We will vote, we'll campaign, and we'll deliver Wetangula as the Speaker of this Republic. Tomorrow, very early in the morning. You know, late in the evening because of time. Because we cannot lose against these people. They are disgruntled, disorganized lot who doesn't know, you know. And William said, he said as early as now, very early that, look, my election will not be stolen. And there is nothing called deep state. I'm the deputy president. I'm speaking to you. I'm telling you, there's nothing called deep state or system. Deep state and the system ni watu. You see, there was that deep state during Moi era. And the reason there was that deep state during Moi era, Gerald, is because Moi was in power 24 years. So in 24 years in leadership, you can be able to build your people. You can even employ someone and his son in the same government. You can employ someone, people you believe in. You can put to test loyalty until you know who are the most loyal. But for 5 years, 10 years of Uhuru Kenyatta, you cannot be able to test loyalty or who is more deeper. Because the time is short, there's a lot of interest, there's a lot of reshuffles, so the team will not gel. The reason it was called deep state is because there was a serious gelling, because 24 years, someone being head of department, he'll be able to predict the system, how it works, and he'll be able to even form some department who are not feasible, and they will scare people because there was a lot of mystery and a lot of conspiracies because the government had a very long life of 24 years. In 10 years, you couldn't form a deep state. It'll be as shallow as it is. And especially when you don't inspire your staff. Especially when your staff are not working in the same path you are working. Especially when you send DCI to harass government officials, when you use KRA against the same people to frustrate the same people. Inside the government, William had more support those in government than Uhuru Kenyatta because of how they have been frustrated by Uhuru Kenyatta and his people because of selfish interest and sometimes because of selfish business. So these people, even the police wanted this man, they wanted these elections to be done, William Ruto become president. Yesterday, a police officer friend of mine called me and he told me, ask Rigathi Gachagua, when will we get our salary increase? Because Gachagua has been speaking their language and they understand their language. Uhuru Kenyatta doesn't understand anyone's language. Alafu kuna shida moja bro. Hii election iko na shida moja. Kamunyweso. Kamunyweso kabisa. Wewe sipanga. Sawa, asante. Back to you, Gerard. Nani anakunywa? Back to you in the studio. Nani anakunywa? Back to you in the studio. You have to come clean. Unajua hii. Unajua Tumblr iko na shida yake. Unajua Tumblr pia iko na shida yake. Kama kuna siku unapanga kazi vizuri lakini hata unaelewa Gerard. Isa umekuwa. Tumblr iko na iko na ikapi yake. Mimi sijai kunywa. Sijasema unakunywa lakini nimesema unaelewa ikapi ya Tumblr. So hii pia kuna ikapi ya Tumblr. So unajua when you start those conspiracy like Uhuru Kenyatta duped Raila what is you overestimating. Jamaa alikuwa anapiga sherehe. This man is as flat as he is. But nimekwambia kuna shida kwa Tumblr.
Nerima, before I get to okay, I would like you, of course.
If
it was not in the new dispensation, I would have feared you would have me closed up. So now at least now you can hear Tumblr stories. When I get to you, Nerima. When I get to you, I would like you to help us understand how the election was won and lost on both sides. How was it won on his side? How was it lost on this side? In a very the way this gentleman has taken us through. Musoro is saying Nerima has a point that Uhuru's offensive distance Ruto from the failing Jubilee administration, that was certainly not Uhuru's intention. As Kiborek says, is not that smart. It was merely an end result, which he did not anticipate even remotely. Considering the way Azimio were carefree in their campaign, they really thought he will twist Kikuyu Nation into buying his project Raila. No, it wasn't a strategy. It was a shocking turn of events. Uhuru will go down history as the most porridge-brained head of state this republic has ever churned out. Jesus Christ.
Clap to that guy. That person is a genius. He has captured it well.
I wish to give a disclaimer that the views does not represent the views of me myself as Gerald the talk or the tackle. And these studios will not be responsible. Nerima, alafu tukirudi nafungua bunga la mwenye nchi. Nerima, how was this thing won or lost on either side?
Definitely, you can see both sides in terms of how they decided to approach the election was so different. And you could see how one side was very organized, strategically organized. And they started way ahead of everybody else from 2 years ago. So their management was way better, a top-notch higher. And it clearly showed us that it doesn't matter the kind of resources that you're channeling if you don't know how you're going to utilize them. So it's the basic proverb of those who have the money don't have the ideas, and those with the ideas don't have the money. And we saw that play before us. So I think in terms of the side that won, I would give it to them for their organization, selection of members in terms of who was consistent or who was within their team. And the members within their team were people who could really hold and meet par in terms of their capacity.
Okay.
While on the other side, we saw a lot of camaraderie, and it shows that sometimes to have friends doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. It's like doing business with a friend. Sometimes it can be a real letdown. Where you'd rather just have business ventures with strangers and you even progress better that way. So we saw that within Azimio, where they were the giant and they were still able to be taken down by the small David. And that I think is going to be something that's going to go in our history books. And as far as elections go, I know the Maina Kiai case
Final.
And I think that this ruling it has highlighted that a second time. So I think going into 2027, the next election, people are going to be more concerned about polling agents. IEBC is going to be more concerned about the security of their ROs, and hopefully we'll be able to see a stronger country at the end with representatives that we want to be elected on the ballot.
Okay, all right. That's how it was won and lost. Okay, let's look at the plan. As it was before you get to, please confirm sound. Okay. As we are to the training, I want us to look at the plan. Finally, we have a new government, as you said, and a government that has been elected. Wako ndani, washaingia, wako kazini. And I think the biggest casualties of electoral process have always been young people. You know, they come in with all these promises for young people. And people have already started asking, okay, what is the position of Mama Mboga and Watu wa Boda? This new government as well as it comes out to work. I think the biggest question as well for me, in my own opinion, would be the place of young people. Because I was seeing some other satire that was moving around that hii ndio ile wiki mtajua wenye malori ni kina nani. Mambo nafasi wa dancers wa lori imeisha. Sasa mtajua wenye lori ni kina nani. And young people drove this campaign. The messaging even was around young people, looking at the way Azimio packaged its messaging, the way Kenya Kwanza packaged its messaging, the way they dressed and all that. They were all trying to look young. Raila Odinga in his 80s is still trying to look hippie and young, you know, getting into sneakers, looking good and trying to have a bounce on it. It was a narrative for young people. What do you think is going to be the place of young people in this? What is the place of young people in leadership and governance, Kiborek?
William Ruto is one man known to have mentored many young people in this country. Of all politicians, I think no one has mentored young people more than William Ruto. Okay. When you look at those leaders, Irungu Kangata, Shungwa, Murkomen, Shudi, all those, Governor Sang, all those young leaders, they are still young up to now, but they joined politics and leadership when they are very young. And they are where they are because of support and mentorship by William Ruto. When you look at this 13th parliament, in UDA and Kenya Kwanza, almost a third are young people. Look at it from where you come, Gerald.
Yes.
From Kiborek in Mogotio to Adams Kipsana in Keyo MP, Keyo North, Kimayo, Keyo South, Joseph Lelmengit, Mgwen, Cynthia Muge, Women Rep Nandi, Toto, go to Mount Kenya, Wamumbi, the MB for Mathira, the MB the Women Rep for Moranga, the Women Rep for Girinyaga, the MB for Katondo South. You go to my friend John Medhu, I think he's 30 years senator, the youngest in the about 29 years old. You go to MB for Sabatia, a UDA young fella. Go to Javed Nyakundi in Kisii, go to Sair. You have to look across the country and you see William Ruto up to now. He's mentored many young people. For myself, I wouldn't be here without the mentorship of William Ruto. I give it to that man. He's mentored me. He's held my hand when I needed someone to hold my hand, and many young people. I believe in him in terms of, when you look at women, he's also mentored young women he mentored women into leadership. Kenya Kwanza or UDA, we have almost 4 or 5 governor women in the Republic of Kenya. And the first governor woman was Joyce Laboso and Waigoro. Those are the people who were held and supported by William Ruto. Look at now the kind of Cecily Mbarire, Susan Keheka, down there, Waiguru, and the rest. We have 4 or 5 women governors in UDA, and in Kenya Kwanza maybe 5. He's held women into prominence and into leadership. He's equally held young people into leadership and prominence. I believe in him as he formed his government. I believe there's not even to push. There's no need even to put pressure. William Ruto will have the most balanced government ever formed in the Republic of Kenya. Women will be happy, youth will be happy, and the elderly and the leadership, the elder people will be happy. This will be the most balanced government in the Republic of Kenya, because I believe in the man. I believe in that man. That man has a foresight. That man has a vision. That man has He knows what he's doing at what time and at what particular time. He knows. Trust me, it will be the most balanced cabinet. It will be the most balanced government. And this government will deliver. This one government will deliver.
Okay, we'll hold you accountable since you have spoken for it.
We are here.
Okay, Narima, I mean, you sit at a policy level, and you also do you work with young people, and the bigger question would be, what are some of the areas? What are your expectations now? The new government is here. What are some of the things that you think would be really of priority to young people, to the country, even as a nation? What are some of the things that you're like, man, okay, you've gotten it finally. This and this is what you want. Yes.
Economy. That's it. That's all young people want. It's opportunities and doing it quickly. Because for many, like we have already shared, the high cost of living is too much. So finding ways to be able to cushion us, finding ways where people are not struggling just to get to work because of how expensive transport is, and representation. So meaningful representation is going to be important. So hopefully I'm looking at the selections that are going to be made. I hope that he meets his promise, because he is the one who was known to have a women's charter and a youth's charter as well. There are a lot of promises within that. The concern would be the resources to do it. But we do know that he's a brilliant man, so he will find the resources, but it also means managing his officers on the ground, because there's just rampant corruption that happens at the county level. And if people are not kept accountable, we will continue to see the high rise of the debt increase, and we will continue to see the same effects of people not having access to their basic needs at the grassroots level. So he needs to understand the young people, because they are ticking time bomb. In fact, this bomb is about to go off.
Right. Okay. Let's have our headphones on. Please have your headphones on. Good morning, Bugala Manyanchi.
Good morning, Bwana Gerald. Habari wewe?
Salama sana, mambo vipi?
Salama. Mimi naitwa Maina kutoka New Jersey.
Yes, habari ya New Jersey.
Kwanza nzuri sana. Kwanza I'm still internalizing Queen. Okay? Because of a number of reasons, and I hope I'll be calm enough to express myself.
Okay.
Thinking myself, asking myself whether is it still real? Kwa sababu kwanza nimesahau habari ya wale panelists, and then Kiborek.
Niaje bro.
Pongezi were.
Anataka kukwenda.
Na Nakuru nikakwambia mimi mtu ya New Jersey.
I do remember pale Java.
Pale Java, very good. Sasa Bwana Gerald. First of all, mimi nataka wewe na wasikilizaji wasikize ile kitu ya Amy Kosgei inasema
Magitumdume.
Amagishe keni.
Abana tengeswa.
Wale wenye imani hawatingiki.
Okay.
Na zaidi ya hiyo marue Jehova.
Eman location.
Yani baada ya hii humiliation tumefanywa. Deputy President amefanyiwa humiliation, and he was and is the king post kwa hii serikali. Was very bitter for us. Was very, very bitter for us.
Okay.
He is the one who brought this government together, and he ended up being humiliated. And then the people stood with him after this humiliation. Akang'ang'ana mpaka akafanya kazi yake. A very smart gentleman. Dr. William Ruto Samoei. Akafanya kazi yake vizuri, na mpaka akapita mara ya kwanza kwa kura, wakamleta kotini, akapita pia, na tuko na imani sana atatengeneza, kwa sababu aliwekwa mitego mingi sana. Na Mungu akampitisha hii. Kama mtaamini, kama unaamini Mungu ama nini, lakini sisi tunajua kwamba hii ushindi yake haikuwa ya kawaida. Ni kwa sababu ya mambo alipitia, na watu wakaona kweli. Hebu angalie, very hajipiki kifua, hafanye nini, ananyenyekea akiomba kura. Na akakuwa mtulivu sana. Sasa sisi tunapatia tu nafasi afanye kazi na asongeshe nchi, atoe umaskini, na mimi najua atafanya. Kitu ya pili, Kiborek amenitishia sana kwa sababu unajua kama mimi naongea kizungu kwa kichwa lakini nikiongea inapotea.
Ikitoka ni shida.
Sasa mimi
ikiwa kwa kichwa ni mzuri, ikitoka mdomo inaharibika.
Mimi nimeshangaa
Really bro.
Nioreta kabisa, kumbe Kiborek nioreta kwa sababu ukisikia kwa lugha ya nyumbani anaongea kabisa point anamwaga. Kwa Kiswahili anamwaga. Sasa kwa kizungu sasa amekuwa mtu wa kizungu kubwa. Mpaka hata karibu nikana dictionary. Kile mimi nataka kusema. Hii meli ya ukabila
imezama.
Ilitatoka Kenya. Ilipotea na ikazama kabisa.
Masishi ilikuwa tarehe 9.
They did not vote because of pride. They voted because they had hope in William. They voted because they didn't want to vote for tribalism. Hata ukiangalia watu wa Mount Kenya, they rebelled and said no. Sisi nitumie ile lugha ambayo utawatafsiria wananchi waseme hatukuli monkey. So sisi tutarudisha uzuri kwa uzuri. Tutalipisha uzuri kwa uzuri. Hatuwezi kubali kukula haramu. Nafikiri that's the word now. So sisi tuna hope 2017 nchi ilitengenezwa ya kumaliza ukabila, lakini hapo barabarani ikapotea, na tuko na imani kwamba atatusaidia kumaliza ukabila. Sisi wote tuko tunaangaliana kama ndugu na dada kwa macho, kwa sababu mtu ikipanda juu haipandi kwa hii kabila na kwa hii kabila haipandi. Shida ikikuwa kama ni maradhi mnaenda hospitali, haikui kwa hii kabila, kwa hii kabila, ni kwa kila mtu. Mimi nataka tuangaliane kama ndugu na dada, tukisonga mbele, tukishikana, haijalishi nani yako kwa presidency, lakini tunajua anafanya kazi kutusaidia sisi wote. Ni hayo mimi ningesema.
Asante Maina. Thank you so much.
Kongoi location.
Maina wa New Jersey.
So location Kongoi bwana.
Kongoi location ikat New Jersey. Ikat New Jersey sasa.
Sasa nyo Kongoi bwana.
Haya, asante na utume wave. Hata sisi watoto wa watu nataka kukula. Haya. Bunge la mwenyeji. Bunge la mwenyeji. Namna gani?
Salama sana Bitoka.
Leta
habari ya Mheshimiwa Kiborek.
Nikwambie.
Just a quick one. Let me switch a little bit. Kiborek, one thing I want to tell you, MOGOTIO ni. So, personally, I didn't vote for you exactly, but personally, I used to support you from where I am. Even my good friends from there, I just said, please be Kiborek. So, no, you are representing us.
Thank you, bro.
You are representing us very much, very much. Mimi mwenyewe niko Kakamega. My question I want to ask you, but now that I know you're going to get this position for the speaker.
Yes.
Are you going to get the majority in the parliament?
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. We are the majority.
So Alanyeti. Are you the majority now?
Yes, we are the majority.
We'll try and look for the majority. Okay.
We are the majority. We are the people.
Wonderful. Because I thought like the other guys are Azimio and your UDA Kenya Kwanza. So I didn't get that, but you've clarified. So for me, I don't think I have so much, but I'm just want to tell you about it. No, you're representing us. So maybe you make mama.
Give me baba. Give me
Kongoi.
Asante sana. Thank you so much. Salima watu wa Kakamega. Ambe tuko ndani. Bunge la mwenyeji wa 779-800-010. 779-800-010. Haya. Bunge la mwenyeji liko wazi. Nambari 779-800-010. Bunge la mwenyeji jambo. Good morning.
Bunge la mwananchi Bitok.
Mambo vipi?
Huyu ni Steve Barno kutoka Eldoret.
Leta habari baba.
Mheshimiwa Kiborek na NERIMA.
Steve, mwao vaya.
Good morning.
Good morning,
sir.
NERIMA kwa nini usali watu wa bunge?
I said morning.
Say it again. Okay.
So there is something that we must give credit to William Ruto.
Okay.
One, the tribalism politics imeisha.
Okay.
Two, the LST politics imelala.
Imeisha.
Three, at least now the center of this government now need the hustler, the mama mboga and the border guy.
Okay.
And you can see the some MPs wa kama Kiborek vina vijana, we expect them that wasituangushe tafadhali. hatutaki tuone Kiborek akifika pale alalala. Tunataka tuone akisukulia vijana miradi baba.
Baba tayari akilala sisi ndio tunamshanga watu.
Akilala tunanyorosha.
Kabisa. Another moja.
Nyinyi ndio mko site.
William Ruto akifuatilia yale yote ambayo alisema kwamba ile youth charter na women charter, the Atla Fund. I think Kenya will be better.
Asante.
What I want Kenyans to know that tumpe time.
Bunga la mwenye jambo, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Derek. How are you?
Safi sana, mambo vipi?
Niko salama.
Zima uko nyuma. Zima uko nyuma.
Hakuna kitu, niko kwa barabara.
Haya, sawa sahihi.
Waheshimiwa, habari ya asubuhi bwana.
Niko safi, niko BA.
Congratulations sana bro.
Asante kaka.
Sasa Gerard.
Kura yako hii kujaa utajaribu tena 2027.
Haina shida Gerard. Sasa mambo ya Kamunyesho state house imeisha. Ni kanisa inajengwa.
Tunaweka kanisa,
tutakuwa crusade.
Tutaweka kanisa pale, tutaweka matabao.
Tutajenga kanisa. Mimi nimepiga tu niseme congratulations kwa Mdosi. Boss won this election against all the old.
Asante.
Na hii ni mambo ya Mungu bwana. Unajua hata Mdosi anatuambia hii ni mambo ya Mungu. Msimlaumu, ni mambo ya Mungu. Tukubali.
Asante na uache tambla.
Alafu huyo mrembo mwambie tushamove on. We need to go to the other side now. Tuache kuongea mambo ya tio kulienda kukarudi, hiyo imeisha. We will never go back there. Alafu ambie mdosi yake hakupanga kazi vizuri. Aliweka kina watu ya kelele tu hapo. Lakini hatuongei sana. Wacha tuwaambie pole. Wakuja tuwaje kazi. Sawa bro, na wewe tambula tuliacha tambula sasa. Unajua sasa ni kanisa sasa. Mmoja anasema tuombe.
Ni pesa imeisha, nikufilisika kama filisika.
Safiri.
Nikufilisika, lakini mkipata pesa mtarudi kwa tambula. Sasa wewe tunakudai kwanza.
Acha tuchape kazi wewe. Najua hata mimi nakudai Mdosi. Nakudai Mdosi. Tujaribu kuanza kesi.
Haya, tupatane baadaye.
Sawa, God bless you guys bwana.
Thank you. Good morning. Bunga la mwenye.
Gerald, good morning.
Fresh barida.
Salamu Kiborek bwana. Huyu jamaa amenifurahisha leo.
Anakufurahisha sana. Ukifurahi
unatuma maana atamta jaribu hivi bwana.
Anataka kutuharibia sherehe huyu jamaa.
Sasa mwambie sisi tuko na lot of hopes na hao vijana wameingia kwa bunge. Sisi tumewatuma pale. I think siasa imeisha sasa. Tunaongojea hiyo Atla Fund.
Hapo kwanza ndio muhimu zaidi.
Najua Ruto sasa ajue. Ako na kazi ngumu sana. Sasa economy iko mbaya. Debt ndio iko juu. Mbolea ile alitupromise tunangoja, hata mimi nimeshalima shamba naongojea mbolea bwana. So by the way, I'm very happy for that guy. Congratulations Kiborek. Huyu jamaa aling'ang'ana bwana.
Thanks bro.
Hey, very strong my friend.
Asante kaka.
Hata nimesikia vile unaongea, yenyewe ulikuwa na deserve hiyo kiti.
Ni kujituma baba.
Hiyo vitu umesema ni ile vitu tulikuwa tukiambia Gerald hapa. Tuliona hiyo vitu kitambo. Hiyo secretariat ya Raila tuliona kitambo na tulijaribu kuambia watu ya Raila wakakataa kusikia. Hawakusikia. Sio akina Odeda walikuwa wanapiga nduru hapo bure. Tuliwaambia hii kitu bwana hapana.
Tazama, walikuwa old school.
Waje kusumbua Odeda sasa wako program ya guiding and counseling.
Lakini kuna kitu kingine Gerald, I think hiyo issue umeuguzia. Hii story ya Saudi Arabia bwana.
Mambo ya Saudi bana iko shida hapa. Na nzuri tuko na mbunge hapa mheshimiwa, atuambie ni hesabu gani watafanya huko. Yes, we need to know bana. How you cannot continue to suffer like that. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, lakini pia tutasema. Haya, maliza yako.
So, I think hiyo ndio itakuwa the first assignment ya wabunge. Hiyo issue ya Saudi Arabia watackle bwana.
Asante.
Hata sasa kuongelea juu some of my relatives walienda huko. Na nilizuri kwa watu wasienda wasiangi.
Ni uchungu bana. Sawa. Thank you.
Okay, anyway. So, good night.
Tukutane at good night. Sasa ni asubuhi bwana. Tukutane kesho diaspora. Good morning, Bunga la mwenye. Simu ya mwisho.
Good morning.
Mambo vipi?
Poa sana. This Collins?
Who? Collins?
Yes.
Yes, Collins, talk to us. How are you?
I'm fine. Salima Kiborek, amenibamba sana leo.
Asante bro.
Nina waleta watu wanaobamba, unajua na walipia fare, kwani mtumii kitu. Nina waleta watu wanaobamba.
Sababisha.
Tutatuma. Sasa, me I'm very happy, and we are being represented well with the youth leadership there.
Okay.
Seeing people like Kiborek, NERIMA WAKO, and of course we are being led by even my MP currently, Timothy Kipchumba, the lawyer.
Timo, very brilliant young man.
Yeah. So I'm very happy. The leadership now, we've been crying for us youth in parliament, but at least this time round, seeing there is light at the end of the tunnel. And freedom is coming. So let's hope for the best until we change the economy now. It's time to work now. The politics over. It is time to embrace the other side now. Again, not leaving them behind. Because at the end of the day, we need each other.
That's true.
Kenya to grow, yes. So,
asante.
Kiborek msiende kulala huko, msituangushe by the way.
Tuko macho bazenga, tuko macho.
Uzuri rais wa Nanyasi ako hapo.
Niko hapo mimi kabisa, mimi ni baba yenu, mimi nawachunga. Hii watu wakilala na wamusha niko na maji ya kufua. Wamusha na maji chafu.
Wakileta mchezo Chebunya.
Na unajua tako liko, we will be calling them out. We will retire. Kiboreka asipofanya kazi will retire.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Hapo ndio tunafunga bunge la mwenye nchi. Najua mko wengi, naona mko wengi kwa line, lakini sasa unfortunately we have to close bunge for today kwa sababu mheshimiwa ako na PG meeting.
Yes.
Haya, mesikia mambo. Nancy anasema Kenya Kwanza did their research well and they knew that the voters are not as illiterate as they were before. So they had a message for the voter, unlike Azimio, who did not have any message. They were all over. Okay. Those are I think something I want to read out from. Those are here. Where is this? The Azimio team. Okay. Something I was trying to get. So Dozar anasema GB, ambia Kiborek as much as they support the government, let them not forget one of their role is oversight. CO2 ya Azimio. Let them not allow to be rubber stamped as the 12th parliament. Haya, tuko na mapicha hapa. Geukieni kidogo. Nerima kanaweza ona. Ule mtu hawezi ona ni Kiborek. Tuone kwanza hapa ni sherehe huko. Wangwana wametembeleana.
Sherehe kiindi.
Naona hapa mheshimiwa. Huyu mweupe ni nani?
Omeka petambla.
Huyu mweupe ni nani? Kijana ya Uhuru. Aitwa Jomo. Haya. Alafu baba, naona baba hapo, naona mama Ida Odinga. Naona nani mwingine, naona hapo kina Orengo na Makao Mutua. Okay. Kuna shida ambayo nimeona kidogo. Baba, what happened to baba? Hebu rudi kwa hiyo ya nyuma kidogo tuone. Hiyo. Ya nyuma iko hapo. What happened to baba? Wangwana, umesikia habari yote ya baba? Anaweza kuwa aliumia ama alipata ajali.
Tunamwombea kila kitu iwe nzuri.
Pole sana baba. Nasema baba au uwe pole. Pole sana anko. Na Uhuru akapo, Uhuru is looking all happy bana kama hakuanguka kura. Narima. Jamaa kai kama mtu mwenye ameanguka kura.
He's actually glowing. Unajua kulikuwa wakati
he's glowing. Ona kwa hiyo picha yenye akona mtua. Akona makao. Burudisha mahali akona makao.
He's looking youthful here.
The guy is looking so fresh. Kama alishinda kura. Aka fresh.
Wakati unajichocha kama umefurahi ndio aone huko na stress.
He looks happy.
He's glowing. Yeah.
What do you think?
He looks good actually. Uhuru looks good. Raul doesn't. Orengo hapa. Kule kijana pia kama atarudi Amerika sasa.
Gerard.
Makao.
Gerard. Ukienda election, victory ni yetu sisi wote. Nini ukishindwa, defeat is personal. It is personal. It sinks to you alone.
So ndio maana Uhuru
it is personal. When you lose, when you are defeated, it is personal. But victory ni yetu sisi wote.
So ukishinda ni ya watu wengi. Lakini ukianguka unalia peke yako.
It is personal. Ni kama wakati umefiwa, kila mtu atasema pole, lakini deep down it is you are personally feeling the grief.
I feel how you are.
So it is
I can feel for you.
I can feel for you.
Ni mambo kama hayo.
Tutawaacha, tutakuwa na nyinyi.
Motivation. Kwanza ya tutakuacha. Kwanza vile wanaambianga bibi. Naambia bibi atio usijali. Anakuja ananiambia
don't blame my gender.
hapana hivyo ndo wanaambianga bibi hivyo sana. Naambia ni wewe mama watoto, usijali rafiki yangu Kiborek, tulikuwa watu wa karibu sana pamoja. Nataka nikuahidi ya kwamba hata kama ndugu yangu Kiborek amepumzika, ashindo don't miss me wala you we are still around wala we are still around. There's one thing that is very consistent. Our uncle Uru is very happy. That is the consistency. He looks happy and healthy. But I'm worried about Baba. I don't know what happened to Baba. We are praying for you, Baba. Just in case there's something that happened to you. But there's one thing that is very consistent. Is how Unye is happy. Akai kama akona shida yote. Akai mtu mwenye alianguka kura. Ukiona Mwangi hapo, aliona jurisprudence ilisidi. He's looking not very happy. Nani hapo Makao Mutua, hata kama ni mweupe, he's not glowing, he's sad. Jana ako happy hapo ni Unye. Orengo pia anajaribu kuforce smile. The only concern thing is that Uru is not, it doesn't look sad. It doesn't look like he lost an election. Anyway, Asuru, that is it. Your closing remarks, lady and gentlemen. Kiborek.
Gerald, thank you for the show. Thank you to your viewers, good people. Thank you for growing this platform. It became alternative when the mainstream were a bit at issue with people with divergent opinions. You did your part. You played your role. Thank you to Kenyans for going to this election peacefully, coming out of it peacefully. Thank you to Kenyans for looking into the future with a high of optimism and hope. From Masala Fund all the way to bottom up and everything that it has in it. You know, it is Kenyans who made this election to be peaceful. And congratulations to President and his deputy for running a very serious modern campaign. Too bad for to his opponents who did old school politics, the old school of tribe and whatever. Glad Kenyans overcame it. We are moving ahead. Now even Gerard can be president or Nadia or anyone. Everyone can be president. Even a young lady in Taita Taveta watching now can be president tomorrow.
Nerima for president.
Nerima for president tomorrow. Everything is happening. It's a Kenyan of possibility. It's a Kenyan of dreams where dreams can be possible. Thank you to each and every person and pleasure being here. Thank you, Gerard. God bless you.
Karibu sana mpongeze. Go and do us proud. Go and make us proud. Nerima wako.
One, congratulations. I hope.
And even you did an amazing job. You had cohorts that you are inducting in the political scene, and I think you had some wins. So hata wewe nafaa upigiwe makofi. Kongole sana.
Thank you.
Pongeze sana. You are even glowing today. Like the other time you were saying morning elections. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bitok, for inviting me. Always great conversations. And to the audience, thank you for spending time with us this morning and having very engaging conversations. And looking forward to what the future is holding for Kenya. So we will be here watching President-elect and hoping that he also does a good job. So also congratulations to him as well. And Kenyans, we keep working hard. We keep working hard for our country. I think we are amazing people. Anywhere we are, globally, we are recognized for the skill that we have. We normally just stop in everything. So for our country, let's continue to work hard and maintain that positive energy. And, we hope the best for our country and patriotism. I love Kenya.
Amen. So let's keep pushing. Let's also hold these guys accountable, even as we transition a new government. I mean, government has a way of disappointing. I think it's in their DNA. So we have to continue putting them and lobbying them and also being on their necks and telling them what they need to deliver on their promises. Jubilee walikuja na shamra. Katuonyesha sinema huko Kasarani nini. Sasa hivi wanatunalia tu, unalia na kusaga meno. Alia ndani ya blanketi. So we hope this new government Kenya Kwanza is going to stay true to its promises as we move forward. Kuna mtu anauliza hapa swali. Kwa hiyo Gabi anasema Gerald Bitok, Nerima ameolewa. Akaambiwa bado. Akasema nataka kuoa yeye. The bad news is she is gone, man. She is vamoose. She is gone. She is gone like the government agenda. Shaenda. Ameenda kama government promise. Ameenda kama big four agenda. It's gone. She is gone, man. Very sad as it seems, but the Lord is good. You shall be comforted. Jeffrey Kaime anasema this awesome Gerald Bitok. Say hi to Nerima Wako. She is brilliant. Asante sana. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you. Talking about dreams, I keep telling you that we need to give every dream a chance. And here on the tackle we want to Mike anasema tutafuta Miguna. Okay, Miguna kushakuja yeye, labda turudie tena. Kiprop brother anasema the best show, hata baridi ya Ngong imepungua. Yeah. Titus Ngosie anasema hello Bitok, on behalf of Azimio supporters we congratulate the winners. Asante sana. Thank you so much. Anasema asiyekubali kushindwa sio mshindani. Asiyekubali kushindwa sio mshindani. Until tomorrow on diaspora edition led by Joel Arama. I will see you, but he's still telling you about the dreams. We need to give every dream a chance. That's what he's saying, we're giving every dream a chance. If you have that content idea, that brilliant content idea that you've always played with in your head, unafikirianga nikianza pata nafasi hivi naweza taka kuchapa content inakaa noma sana. Mimi nikianza pata studio hivi ama nikipata kamera, nikipata microphone, naweza cheza na content bambovu. We're giving you a chance to ensure that you can realize that dream here. We're going to give you an access to amazing equipment here. As you giving you 1 month trial of content creation. Moja, any broadcaster or any content creator who has been thinking about doing a content idea. Niliona Kiborek jinsi alikuwa ameweka muimbi, kijana muimbaje, anataka kutafuta talent. So here also we're building talent for content creators. We are giving you 1 month free trial on your content. Tunakupea recording, tunachapia editing, tunakuanyia guiding kidogo, tunakupea guiding kidogo, unatengeneza platform zako, you can upload your content so that we see what happens. And I'm proud of some young men who are already doing the content. I think I'll share a link this afternoon. And tomorrow also we share some of their content. They started recording last week and they're doing an amazing job. You continue to guide them kidogo. And also you can proudly wear the biggest brand in town. The tackle is not as much. It's the biggest brand in town at the moment. The tackle. You can get your hoodie at only 2,500 shillings. Mheshimiwa? Hoodie 2,500 shillings.
I need one.
Takutumia.
Okay.
Takuja which size? Nakala.
Nava, I think large. Yellow is a color. It's the revolutionary color.
Haya.
It's the revolutionary color.
Manjano. Tutakuletea manjano. Haya, you can wear the biggest brand in town. There it is. Only 2,500 Kenya shillings. 2,500 Kenya shillings. You get to wear the biggest brand in town, the tackle. And why doing that? Even just apart from you, aside from you wearing the biggest brand in town, proudly so, you also be helping us to become better. Helping us get more resources to do better things and crazier things as we move forward. Tukingoja Hustler Fund itupe, unajua hapa kwa ofisi janunua viti na meza zingine, na ngoja Hustler Fund ikuje niweke hapo alafu tuweze kuendelea tuone kunaenda aje. But meanwhile mnisaidie pesa kidogo ya hoodie. So nunua hoodie 2,500 shillings Kenya shillings only. Utaweza kuendelea. Tuma order yako kwenye 0779-800-010 WhatsApp 0779-800-010. And also if you can see this, definitely your next client can see it. So please advertise with us. Nambari unaweza piga nambari ambayo iko pale 0731027727 WhatsApp. Alafu you can book your ad slot. Tukuchezee kama sisi. Tukufanyia maneno kama sisi. Tufanye ile kitu tulifanyanga 1952. Alright. Until tomorrow in the diaspora edition, we can join Larama, watu wa ngambo, ugaibuni, the beginning conversation here. Please, if you're in diaspora, please make sure that you can join the conversation tomorrow morning. Until then, this is the tackle and it ends right now. We love you very much. Bye bye and take care. Na mkunywe chai mingi, baridi ni mingi. Uchumi ni mbaya. So please stick to tea. Don't try other things. Na tuende shambani. Good day.